This is my favorite Fujifilm lens. This is none other than the Fujion 35mm f2. I mean, just look at this thing. This thing is so gorgeous. It's such a nice lens. It's got a wonderfully clicked aperture ring. It's got a very smooth focus ring. It's weather resistant, and it's just so small and so pocketable. And it's the lens that I've had longest that isn't the kit lens that come with my X-T3. As soon as I bought that X-T3, I bought this lens. Now, because it's a 35mm and I use it on an APS-C sensor, this is near about a 50mm lens, precisely 52.5mm. In essence, this would be called a nifty 50, and usually something every photographer keeps in their kit bag. It can be a really versatile lens. I used to use it for a lot of product photography and street photography. This actually was one of the first videos I made on this YouTube channel, which is about a year ago now. If you're interested in that, you can go watch that here. That was shot in Ayamonte in Spain. I put a lot of work and effort into making that YouTube video, and I was in Spain and I was taking photos here, there and everywhere purely for the love of it, not really thinking too much about making a video, but I had the intention of doing something with it. And I really do think that this actually inspired me to create this channel. I had a love affair with this lens. This lens was the one I always traveled with. I just knew that I was safe with this lens. Even putting it on a camera that isn't weather sealed was going to give my camera a little bit more protection. A bit like the XS20 now, if I put this on there, that's going to give it a little bit more protection, as that camera doesn't have any weather sealing. So having a lens as robust as this was essential. Like I said, it inspired, I think, this channel because I was so in love with using this and taking shots and creating my own little vibe within my own little world. I felt like I had to share it with a community. I think, look at that, once you get that on your camera, the setup really is quite small, and that's the whole thing I desire when buying gear. I love it being minimal and I love it being portable. I don't really enjoy walking around with my Sigma 18-35, especially with the Fringer Pro 2 adapter on there. It's just weighty, it's just clunky. I look like some sort of paparazzi. I really prefer keeping all my gear neat, tidy, small, concise. But that's just me. I like to be a bit more inconspicuous. I love how it tells you on the side of the lens that it is weather resistant, because sometimes I have to look up whether one of my lenses is or isn't. I mean, it says right here in the thread, but a lot of third-party lenses like my Viltrox, I had to look up to see whether it was, and it still wasn't very clear. I'm pretty sure it isn't. But I'd like to know, and I'm sure, you know, a lot of you out there would too. But it's clear what this lens does, and it's clear why I still have it, because it's powerful. It takes great photos. Okay, it doesn't do any of my video capabilities. It's not a hybrid thing, but photo walking is one of my favorite things to do. Finding a new place, settling in a new town, going for a walk and taking photos of a new environment is one of the purest joys I find in life. And I think a lot of people out there too, that is the nature of taking, you know, photographs. But I also am very shy, I'm very reserved, and I do like to make sure I'm not interfering with the environment that I have just inhabited. So it is imperative and it's so important to me to not disturb the peace. This lens does this for me, and it also doesn't disturb my gear because of the, you know, water resistant nature. If I pair this with my X Pro 3, I am good to go. That combination for me, it really is solid. Now, the lens that lives on my X Pro 3 at the moment is that TT Artisans 27mm. I think I'm just enjoying that focal length at the moment, but if there was a duel and a winner for a lens that I'd like to take with me on a trip, I could only take one and I had to discard the other, it'd be the f2. And I think also, which I haven't mentioned, the aperture being as low as f2 really is something. Knowing that I can take it maybe to twilight and still get great quality images without having to raise my ISO too much is a real treat. And because it's practically a nifty 50, it kind of does remove me from getting too close to what I wanted to photograph, especially when it comes to street photography. As my journey continues into photography more, I am finding that travel and street photography is where I am heading. And I'm looking for gear, cameras, lenses that accompany me on that journey. And that's where I have to say that the 35mm f2 is doing such a good job, and I'm sure will do for many a year to come. Anyway, this was kind of a bit of a love letter to the 35mm f2 because it really has served me well and I've had it so long. So look, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, as always, drop them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, let's make some waves, and I'll see you in the next one.